most important question. What are you wearing? Or who are you wearing?
We love it. I love it.
It was last year. Well, I love plaid. So that's why I wear it.
You said last year that season 1 of the show is the romance, season 2 of the show is the hard breakup. So going into seasons 3 and I guess 4, however you're doing it, how would you sort of describe the approach? And I also wonder, are you getting Thomas Harris?
Yes, for us, going into the 3rd season, the plan of it was we were kind of off the reservation, that we're breaking away from the FBI, and we're telling a story, that is very much about, we were talking about horror movies, and really there's a Frankenstein quality to season 3, because if you look at what happened to Will Bryan, somebody who was gutted, left for dead, and come back to life, stitched together, and now he's in pursuit of the man who made him destroy, because Hannibal essentially created a new Will Graham with everything that he's putting him through in the first 2 seasons. So now it's up to Will to understand what that means to him now. And the exciting thing for us and the writers' room is because of this traumatic event, everybody either dying or dead. They're changed. You can't help but change a person from that perspective. So we get to write new versions of these characters that have different perspectives on the story and the world that they didn't have previously, and it gave us a great sense of energy.
So what can you tell us? This is a 1-part question. What can you tell us about Hannibal's new backstory, because it seems to be somewhat different? And also, are we going to see any more of Bedelia's backstory with her patient and with Hannibal? So anything tidbits you can give us?
The first episode, which kind of functions as a brand new pilot for a different series, because it's about Bedelia and Hannibal, and you don't see any of the other characters in the episode, and it goes to the root of their relationship. We flashback, we find out what the deal was with the patient. So we answer a lot of those questions in being able to understand why Bedelia got on that plane. And she didn't get on that plane because she's stupid. So she's got to be like, I don't think anybody would buy Gillian Anderson playing that character being a fool.
No, she doesn't seem like you haven't cast her that way or written her that way, so no.
We don't want her to be that way. We want her to be driving her own story, not just sort of along for the ride. And that dynamic and what she sees in Hannibal, and even still functioning as his therapist in a way, helps inform who's in control of the situation, and we'll see that control shift back and forth as the episodes progress.
And what was the purpose of the colorful language between Will and Hannibal? Because a lot of times you have to watch it again just to know what they're even talking about.
The purpose of that is basically Thomas Harris fandom, and a lot like the purplest language in the show. Whenever you're like, what did they say? And it's probably a direct quote from Thomas Harris. And as a fan, like whenever I'm writing a scene, I'm like, what is the scene about? What's the root of this? And if I'm not quite seeing it, I'll just start reading Thomas Harris. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, that's a great quote that I can repurpose for this scene, and it has Thomas Harris's DNA that we can weave in, because I think that's very important. He's such a great purple writer and loves language and loves the flowers, so I feel like that has to be present in the show in order to be a Thomas Harris adaptation.
Do you ever worry about finding the balance so that it doesn't cause a disconnect with viewers, so that they can follow like the games that are being played between the two?
I don't, and maybe that's why we don't have great numbers. But I honestly just sort of feel like the show tells us what the show needs to be, and as a writer, you have to be the first member of the audience, because if you try to write for an audience that's not you, then you're going to go mad, because you're just guessing what people want. But if you're writing for you as the audience and people are like-minded, then you know what you want to see, and you know, like if when a character dies, even though it's hard, you need to go through that experience. Like a lot of people were very upset when we killed Beverly Katz off, and she was like, it was the organic flow of what the story was going to be, and I was pissed off at J.K. Rowling for killing Hedwig, and I was like, damn. So I get it, but it also is sort of like she was a hero in that moment, and she championed Will, and she lost, but she was being a loyal friend who made mistakes to try to prove things that she knew that she couldn't prove otherwise. And so it was. I mean, in episode 5 when I was working on that script, I cried because I knew I was going to miss working with Etienne. I knew I was going to miss writing for her character, and so it was very much a loss for me. But I knew it had to happen for the story, and it was also a big impact that changed the event that the story was unfolding. So we needed that energy as well.
Yeah, and you talked about Jillian a little bit, and I know some fans had tweeted they wanted to know. So can we expect her? Is she on like a regular or recurring?
We are currently negotiating her contract to be a series regular in season 3.
Okay, excellent.
So are you having any new? First of all, I just have to say we've watched over 36 shows, and Hannibal season finale was by far the best.
Oh, thank you.
So we loved it. But so new characters for season 3. Is there any particular actors that you're looking at that you would love to see?
Well, it's tricky with that because we do have quite a few new characters coming up. We're going to be having Lady Murasaki, which I'm very excited about, and we'll have Commander Patsy, we'll have Cordell, we'll have Francis Dollarhide and Reba, and so to answer your question, we will be getting into Red Dragon in a second.
So we will be seeing a Reba as well, and everybody's going to be there.
I think that what's exciting for me in doing Red Dragon is that it hasn't been completely adapted yet. There's the thing that is not in either of the adaptations is Will Graham is looking at Francis Dollarhide as a Hannibal that he could possibly save from himself because he knows so that hasn't been told yet, and I think it's exciting to get into an aspect of Will and Hannibal's relationship through a proxy that tells us another level about who they are and what they mean to each other and what they lost. And so that feels like we can do something new that nobody's seen in any of the adaptations, and that's exciting for me as a fan because whenever I read a book that's being adapted, there's always like little bits in the book that aren't present in the adaptation. I'm like, I wish they would have just had that part because it was so great. And of course, when you adapt the movie at 2 hours, but we're going to be doing a 6-hour Red Dragon miniseries. So we'll be able to cover some bases in that.
American Gods. Okay, so you're now doing American. I'll let you go. You're now doing American Gods. Woo, we're so excited about this. And you're going to be doing it simultaneously with Hannibal. So how is the switchover?
Well, so I partnered with a writer named Michael Green, who I worked with on Hannibal, and he did this wonderful show for NBC a few years ago called Kings. And so we are. American Gods won't film until like third quarter of 2015. So it won't take away from Hannibal because I was like, when we didn't know whether Hannibal was going to come back or not, we knew we had a couple of buyers, but we didn't know if they were going to buy the show and say, okay, now you have to slash your budget. And then I was like, we barely have enough money as it is. So I was looking for my next project, and Neil Gaiman flew up to Toronto to sit down with me, and I'm a huge fan of his. And once again, it's a great opportunity to adapt material for a television screen that allows us to kind of put our own spin spin on it, and I think American Gods will probably be more of a faithful adaptation of the book, whereas I feel like Hannibal is faithful to the spirit of the books, but we're changing shit around left and right.
And you got stars, so we're excited about that. Anything is possible on that.
Well, the Bilquist scene, like you couldn't do that on network television. So if you guys don't know the book, it's basically a woman eats a man with a vagina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, swallow.
So
It's gonna be insane.
That's not going to happen on network television. No, it'll be stars.
So one of the hallmarks of the series has been it's slightly surreal. You're going into season 3 and almost like a rebooting or a renewal. Are you going to be able to keep that surreal feel to the show?
Well, it's interesting because as we are breaking out the stories, we don't have as much the death tableaus in this season because we don't have a killer of the week. It's all a story about all of these characters and the new characters that have come into the world. So we're not necessarily dealing with a guest murderer. So that changes a bit of the show, but we are absolutely going to be looking for those surrealist images that give us a psychological representation of what's going on in Will's head, because for me that's what all of that symbolism does. It's psychological. It's just to transport you into a crazy person's head.
So you talk about being a fan of the show and about being the first person, the viewer in the audience. You're great at interacting with your fans and bringing them into the show. Can you talk a little bit about how you think that's impacted the show itself?
I don't think we would have had a third season for the fans of Hannibal. And I think very early on, somebody asked us at the panel today, like, what do you think of the fan fiction? And I was like, our show is fan fiction. We are taking it as fans and doing with it what we're inspired to do based on that work. So for me, it's very easy to interact with the fans because I'm talking to colleagues who are as passionate about the material as I am. And also at Comic-Con, I'm as big a geek as the next guy, and I have a shopping list on that floor that I'm dying to get to. And there's really like one item that sold out in 90 minutes last night. So
Been there,
I had to get it on eBay for like 3 times the price. But it's still like-minded with a lot of these people who are here because I would come here whether I had a show to promote or not.
Well, and I've talked to Freddie, who's the Tattle Crime writer, so I've actually brought a few questions from her, and it's just great to see how, she has embraced her role in the fandom and how you guys have embraced that, so I just really appreciate that.
But yeah, we when we knew that we were going to be fake killing Freddie, we reached out to her and said, this is what we're doing in the episode, so like in your interactions, like maybe you could switch over to like, we're the editor of Tattle Crime and Freddie is missing and we don't know. So that was all part of the fan enthusiasm and just your pain. I think there's with our Twitter interactions, like if you're sitting down and you're giving us an hour of your time a week to watch our show, we can repay you by sitting down and answering your questions for an hour on Twitter or interacting with you. It seems like it's community and it's communal. And I was very jealous going to the UK a few years ago because I was there for the premiere of the Matt Smith Doctor Who. And I watched it with everybody in the country was watching it. It was such a wonderful global communal national experience, and I feel like we don't really have that in the States as powerful, something that has been around for 50 years, that is ingrained in the audiences and is a family experience. And so when you watch Game of Thrones and go online and see what the reactions are, and it is a bit of that, but we don't have our Doctor Who. Star Trek even wasn't Doctor Who. It was for me, but it didn't have the broad, everybody is into this, everybody gets something out of it. And it's wonderful to sort of be united. I mean, it takes like a tragedy to bring Americans together like that, whereas the Brits just have Doctor Who and everybody's...
The closest is the last episode of The Fugitive.
Yes, yeah, which was huge.
Everyone watched it.
Yes, that.
Right, the final episode.
All of the family.
Or Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So it's we have them. We have mini versions, but we don't have that long-standing thing.
The ongoing, which is nice. I mean, I appreciate that about the show and about the fans of this show. Yeah.
And it's satisfying because it's also, you know, there's criticism as well as there are accolades, and if you're opening yourself up, you have to be open to both of them. And it's interesting to see, you know, reactions to like certain female characters in the second season, and so going into the third season, it was like, okay, we need. Bedelia's got to be front and center. She's got to be a strong. We're going to bring Murasaki in, and she's going to be a powerhouse with a lot to do. And our agenda really was how do we make these characters drive their own stories, as opposed to having, you know, Alana Bloom is not going to be a caregiver. You know, we saw that in the first season, and we saw her as a romantic foil, even though Caroline was not complaining about the scenes that she had with Mads partially clothed. But I felt like, you know, going into this third season, you know, our first discussion in the writers' room was we have to make Alana Bloom the most interesting character on the show, because she hasn't been up until this point, and she served her role, and it is a story between Hannibal and Will Graham. But now going into season 3, and we have the opportunity to change everybody because they've gone through this experience. Let's take advantage of that, and it's exciting because I'm excited to see what Caroline does. I'm excited to see what Jillian does. We're bringing Gina Torres back. I'm excited to see what she does. I can't wait to find out who we cast for Murasaki. So it's all it's nice because you have to listen, but you don't have to do everything, because even though it's like you don't want them to. I didn't want Hedwig to die, but I realized, oh my God, here's this little owl, and animal heroism makes me cry faster than anything. Like, I can't talk about it too long because I will start to tear up, because this little bird, like, was trying to protect Harry. So, you know, we listen.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I love, she's a wonderful storyteller.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.